Hi guys, and welcome back once again to Travelling Tonka, and this is the second of our 3 theme park reviews as we visit Walibi Belgium in Wavre. Now if you've seen my first video at Bobbejaanland Land in Belgium, then you'll know that we stayed in Liège to visit here because it's only an hour away from that park and this park and the third one that we're visiting tomorrow. This is the biggest of the 3 theme parks that we're going to visit, and probably a bit more known than those also. There is another Walibi Holland in the Netherlands as well, which I haven't visited before and we didn't have time to on this trip, but just so you know, there's a couple of them about. I'm not sure if there's any more around any other countries, but they're the only 2 I know of. The price that you would normally pay for this theme park would be €57 each, which obviously is more expensive than the one that we were at yesterday, but that's pretty much a going rate for most theme parks. That said, I did manage to find a 20% voucher online, and I still managed to book through the official website to get the tickets through there, so it brought our price down by a good few euros, so that was actually really nice. It was the same situation again with the parking. You have to pay €13 to leave your car there, so you can either get the ticket beforehand or you can do it at the machine or at the information centre, entrance centres when you leave. But just remember to do it, because I actually forgot this time, got all the way back to the car, got to the gate and then realised I didn't have my ticket, so I had to go back to get it. So just something to think about. It's not always the thing on your mind when you are leaving the theme park. So we are actually at the park for Halloween, so this is the daytime. This was around about midday, I think. We didn't get there really early because it is open till 10 o'clock at night, so it's a really long day if you got there for opening at like 9 o'clock. So midday seemed fine, and this was like the first ride that we went on. It's very similar to Nemesis actually. It was quite good. The queue was only like 40 minutes, which again is better than what we experienced yesterday, but that said, it's because this theme park is much bigger, more spread about, and there's a lot more bigger rides to go on, so it spreads the queuing out a bit. Again, I didn't notice any type of theme for this ride, and I thought this one probably would have more, being it's a chain and it's a bigger park and things like that, but there was only a couple of probably the newer ones that do have themes, so it did have it, but just not as many as I thought it would. Again, this theme park has a lake in the middle of it. It's not as circular as Bobbejaanland Land where we were yesterday. Like you have to sort of go off in different directions, but with that in the middle, it does give you a centre point to sort of understand where you are around the theme park, because like I said, this one is a lot bigger. But as much as the map explained where to go, it was quite difficult finding certain attractions as you were going around, but you just have to do the usual walk around, sort of get your bearings and figure it out for yourself. It probably doesn't look as scenically beautiful as it probably could do here, because I'd imagine this looks really nice, but it was a really dull day, and actually we were very lucky because it was supposed to rain all day, so we actually got away with one there. But obviously the cloud cover never makes it look as nice as what it probably does normally. This ride here you've probably seen at many a theme park. It seems to be everywhere. I mean, I didn't discover one until a few years ago, but pretty much every theme park I've been to since seems to have one of these, and you go up backwards, which is quite nice, and it's actually a lot steeper than it looks there when you're going up backwards. It goes round, does the loop up, and then does the same thing in reverse, so that's quite a fun ride. As we walk past the river rapids there, you might be led to believe that it's not actually that busy here, but it really is. I'm guessing it's just people are all queuing for ride stuff, but actually walking around the theme park, it never seemed to be too much trouble, and you know, people getting in the way or whatever. It was that was at least easy to do, but it was just when coming to the rides. You can see this ride there in the middle there. This is another one, sort of a water ride. It goes up and down, and it looks quite tame, but actually when you're on it, it's them 2 end bits are very steep, and it goes through the water in the middle of it. I'm not sure if you see it on this one, but there you go. As I was mentioned on yesterday's videos, in the area we're in, English speaking wasn't as common as I thought it would be. Here we are probably about half an hour from the capital city of Brussels, so it was a lot easier here. and you can tell it had a bit more of a city feel to it as opposed to being out in the sticks in the countryside to where we were yesterday. It was predominantly French speaking, what I heard around from the people in the queues and the workers as well. There was small areas where you'd hear the odd bit of Flemish, but it was definitely more French, so if you have a bit of French that might help you out as well. As we were walking through here, this is sort of like the designated kids area. As you can tell, the rides are a little bit more child friendly there. Now this ride that we're queuing up for now, had no idea what it was. We just saw these two long pipe things at either end from the outside, but it's an internal ride, so I didn't do any research on it. We just thought we'd go and queue up for it, seeing the queue wasn't that bad. A little bit of theming on this one, maybe because it's a bit newer, but there wasn't loads. This is just before you're about to get on the ride. I mean, it was very dark in there, but I just sort of captured this bit. It turns out that well, I won't give it away actually, because it does something that you probably wouldn't expect, but yeah, it's inside, and it's like a little roller coaster. As we finish in there and leave to walk around to the next bit, you can see this is the ride with the two steep ends that you can see from across the lake on the way round, but you've got the log flume up there, which at this time of the year there's never a massive queue for, so I don't mind going on because you generally never get that soaked, or so I thought. So going back onto the theme of Halloween, whilst you'll see in a second as we're going around the ride, I managed to record it because I could get away with that on the log flume. It's actually they seem to take it very seriously here, and it's quite a big thing at this park. The name is Ibelore, and it's, if you look on their website, they advertise it massively. Again, you have all the different themed houses and scare events that you can go on. Now the name Ibelore I just thought was some weird thing that they came up with in Belgium or in their language. Turns out when I looked at it more and realised at the end of the day it's actually Walibi backwards, so it was nothing that intelligent, it's just I didn't notice it straight away, but that's what they theme their Halloween around. As we're on the log flume here, we just go through this dark area. It was actually pretty cool going through it because, they can be quite slow and a bit boring sometimes whilst you're waiting. So at least this had something different to, keep you busy whilst you're waiting. This is very, very steep, this bit as well, and I didn't realise that. You can't see all of the log flume from the outside, so you are unaware of what's going on, and then there was a bit of a surprise when we got to the top of it. See, I'm not sure if many of you have been on ones like this, but you're on a little rotating circular plate and it sends you down backwards. I've experienced these before, but I wasn't sure that this one had one, so that was quite good. They're always quite fun. And then obviously at some point on the ride you've got to go on another plate to face the right way round. I don't think at that point we got very wet. As with all water attractions at theme parks, if you don't want to walk around being slightly wet, they do sell ponchos and thin rain mats before you enter. I didn't actually see what the price of those were, so you'd have to have a look yourself, but you can get them should you want them. As you see to the right, as we go up here, there's two interlocking roller coasters there. I don't have any footage of that because when we went on those it was night time and it was very, very dark in that area, but they're pretty decent coasters for what they are. They're not massively thrilling, but they were definitely worth the wait, and both of those were only sort of 45-minute waits each as well. As we sort of travel around now and come up to the last final drop on this log flume, I did get wet. It wasn't horrendous, but I was sat at the front, so that might be why, but I'm not sure if the rest of the people got really that wet there. But this one I did, my jeans and jacket were quite sodden after this bit, hence when we get to the bottom of this chute I had to put the camera down because I wasn't quite expecting it, so you only sort of got it just before we hit it. This area that we're coming into now seemed to be sort of like the most popular area to get food and drink, and like restaurants where you can actually sit down and go into, as opposed to just grabbing the fast food at the different stalls around the park. Again, I found all the food and drink very, very reasonably priced. It was nothing outrageous. I didn't walk away going, oh, that seemed really, really expensive, so that's always a good thing. Again, they have the refundable plastic cups that you have to take back to get your money back, but like I said in the last video, that seems to be standard everywhere you go now. What you're looking at now is the drop tower, and this one seems very, very high. I mean, I've done some big ones in the past, but this has got to be up there with it. I don't really like them, and I don't know why I do them, but I still did it. It is just one ascent to the top and then one descent down, but it's quick. It's a big drop. You're about to see sort of how it is, and it definitely takes your breath away because you don't hear anyone screaming or shouting on there because it all happens so quick. So that is definitely a very good one, albeit very quick. We sort of had a wander around this area a little bit. I did find it quite difficult to make sure which direction you were going in though, because you could easily walk one way and then when you come back it didn't look the same. So it is signposted everywhere when you go around there, but you just seem to miss them, and I don't know why. It just seemed a little bit complicated, but you know, like with anywhere that you've not been before, I'm sure if you go spend a bit more time there, you'll figure out where you're supposed to be walking. So we're walking around now. As you can see behind this is the main attraction in this theme park. It's the biggest, I think it's probably the newest as well. It probably looks familiar to some of you. They all seem to have this starting point on the rides now for the newer type. It's like Hyperion at Energylandia in Poland and Shambhala at Portaventura in Spain. It's quite similar, but these new ones are definitely the way forward. They're very smooth, comfortable, and they're all a lot longer than previous ones. The only downside is the queue for this one. Even though I only said it was 60 minutes, ended up being about an hour and a half, but it's the main ride, you've got to expect that sometimes. That said, it was the best ride by far that we experienced over the 3 days. This was about as close as I could get to recording any of it. It actually goes out into the distance, but you can't actually get anywhere near those parts of it, so this is sort of all you can see, and I definitely couldn't record on the ride either. You'll probably keep seeing the wooden roller coaster in the distance throughout the video. I didn't get that because it was very late and that area was so dark, so I couldn't record it. I tried to record on the ride, but that was one of the best wooden ones that I've done for a long time. It gives you a false sense of security when you get in it because it has all this extra padding around it, and a lot of the wooden ones don't have that and they normally rattle your brains about. But I thought, oh, this one's lovely. It's got padding in either side of you, in front of you, and on the bar, so that would have been great. Turns out there's a reason it has that, because it is a very aggressive ride, but really, really fun nonetheless. As you can see now, it has turned, the sun has gone down and it's turned to dark. It's very dark. I mean, you've got lighting around each attraction, but yeah, it is really, really dark everywhere, and their Halloween theme was very heavy, so again, it's probably quite scary if you don't really like that thing. I love it, so it was great walking around and seeing all these different bits. Just sort of towards the end of the video, I thought I would just show you how some of it was themed, and we actually do go into the area. This area here is probably the main area where they have all these live actors in the cage, but they also have them amongst you walking around there, but it's so busy in there that you can't see. This is probably not for children at all though. I mean, I wouldn't recommend it if you're easily scared or very young, but it is all advertised and explained on the map and on the app and on the paper map as well, which areas you should go in, you know, and how scary they are, so it's done very well. But this looked like it would be really good fun. We didn't get much chance to experience it around there, but if you're into Halloween nights, I reckon this is definitely one of the places to go. What we did notice is the theme park actually filled up sort of late afternoon with a lot more older teens and adults all in fancy dress, so again, it seems like if you want to have a sort of Halloween party, then this would be a very good place to do it, and you get to all the rides, and like I said, it's open till 10 o'clock at night as well, so that, you know, you can have a really good day of it. I would say that this theme park out of the 3 that we went to was definitely the best, mainly because the thrill rides are better and there's also more of them, which is what I'm looking for. I'm never sure what it's like for younger children because we don't generally go around those rides, but like as you look around you can see there's a lot more money being spent on this park, and it's just generally more to do there, I think, throughout the day as well. So as we come to the end of this video and just walking you out the exit here, I just want to thank you for joining me on the channel, and come back for the final one where we are at Toverland, which is in the Netherlands. I look forward to seeing you all again, if not on the next one, on the previous one, or on the future ones. Thank you very much.